Hello everybody, it's Heat Override, and I'm ready to bring the pain for you this week inside a special location. You don't know where this location is at, but we're going to tell you where it is. Ooh, yeah! Well, you know what we're going to be doing. Got mini Override on this episode. We're going to be talking about Star Wars, Clone Wars, Battlefront 2 updates coming mid-April or later in April, whenever they get released. So without further ado, let's get to it! Ooh, yeah! Woo! What's up, Minnie?
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
That's cool. You know, it's been a little minute, so we have a few weeks of Clone Wars to talk about. And that's going to be a fun. Ooh, yeah. And then we're going to also talk about, some demos that came out recently. So, what's up? Tell us where we're at today.
We're in my fort.
Mini Override decided to make a homemade fort. So that's where we're doing today's Bring the Pain from.
And there's snacks in here.
And it's going to be pretty crazy different. But hey, this is my first off-location place. It's still in the same house, unfortunately. But we're getting everything set up in the podcasting corner of the middle room. I got the posters coming I'm making for the walls so that the walls can be decorated and to bring the pain. And then we're also going to be... I already have the Skype set up. Everything's going to be great. I can't wait till I finally can be able to take these calls and get them done. But I'm so busy. So much to do. That's why we haven't been able to do this podcast for a minute, right, Minnie?
Yeah.
I mean, it's been busy. It's been a few weeks. Right?
Yeah, it's been a few weeks.
Yeah. Do you remember all the Clone Wars episodes?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a bit. Let's first, what made you build this tent?
I wanted to spend 24 hours in it on Saturday.
Yeah? What happened?
I kind of got bored.
Hell yeah! Yeah, that does happen. That really does happen.
Although I had something, like I had things, I had snacks and hidden compartments.
Yeah, and she's showing these as you can hear in the background. And it's crazy, but, I can't just... Why just say, if you just want to hang up out here, then hang up out here. But you don't have to dedicate a whole day into doing any of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Come on now. Ooh, yeah!
Another secret compartment, which no one would think of, is I have, like a little toy oven, and I'm hiding my cookies in there.
As she shows me. Brother! All right, well, let's start it off. We're going to talk about our YouTube channel. So I do a lot of my YouTube gaming on Heat Override number 5. You'll see me with this old Scout shirt. Yeah, that's the way. I'm not going to change it. I represent the past. But hey, whatever. It looks cool. But go ahead and check me out over there. That's where all my gaming tips, that's where all my gaming is done. That is where I do Twitch, but Twitch just doesn't work. I don't have anything set up. And just getting with the podcast and having this time off and being able to paint, start decorating different rooms now. We've been really busy, haven't we?
Yeah, we were really busy.
I mean, we couldn't hold this podcast in this room a week ago because it was still a mess. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to work hard to keep our rooms clean. Right? Brother! Okay. So that's why you get a podcast in your room. But you got more work to do, daughter. Ooh, yeah! So, follow me there. A lot of my Bring the Pain episodes go live on YouTube. They also, you get Mega Man 2. You get all of my Star Wars gaming. You get any gaming that we do online. So, Fortnite there. Whatever we play, we will do. But we do play a lot of Star Wars Battlefront. That seems to be, with all the updates that's going on right now, we just don't have time to play anything else.
And if we play Fortnite, it's probably me.
Yeah, it's probably her, and then maybe I bounce in. But, I mean, I want to play some Diablo on there, just kick some ass doing some of that, too. Ooh, yeah! So, that being said, tell us about your your YouTube channel.
Okay. So, it's called LPS Mini Override, but LPS stands for Littlest Pet Shop.
Speak up.
And I have a bunch of the, like, toys. So I have, like, some of the minis, so, like, miniature, and then kind of
LPSs,
and then middle-sized ones, and then the big ones. And then I do videos. Sometimes I have different videos on there, like Reese being insane.
Bring the pain!
And I also do, like, video star things. It's like a music thing. I don't know what it
is. What? Like videos, like with songs, and she likes to make little shows with her LPSs, right? Tell us about some of that.
Oh, yeah. So I have this series called Photographer. And it's this one dog that's a German Shepherd, and she has, like, she's in her apartment, and she's moving all the places, and then she's like a photographer. So the first one starts out outside of her and her friend taking pictures.
All right. So that sounds like a plan. So if you like to watch some LPS, or maybe you have a child that likes to watch LPS and you don't want to always watch gaming, from the Heat Override family, yeah, then all you Heat Overrides, head on over to our YouTube channels and check it out. All right, well, let's talk a little bit. Since we're talking about gaming, let's get right to Battlefront 2. Ben Walk said that about mid-April, Scariff was going to be released. Now, he said that a new hero and villain were coming soon. Now, he hasn't speculated on that yet as to who that would be, but with Scariff coming out, you would think it would be Jyn Erso and Krennic, since they already put them in the game before, but that's no wow factor. When I was talking on the Rebel Scum podcast, which you can follow on Twitter at Rebel Scumcast. James and Brock are awesome. You can follow them also on YouTube, Rebel Scumcast. They do so many shows. I've been on a couple, so bring the pain, people. Follow them up. That's what we talk about. We're talking about Star Wars. Oh, yeah. We want to get the little bit of the light swords and what people said that they're space magicians, but I call them Jedi, and I call them Sith. Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah!
So, with that being said, that's going to be awesome. It'll be more. We can get Scariff, and then they're talking about adding more boards to the heroes or villains, which means that you get a better spread of boards to play. Does that sound fun to you?
Yeah.
Tell me about it. How does it make you feel? What new characters would you like to see them add?
I was thinking, since they're putting out a new Ahsoka series, I'm thinking that Ahsoka might be in it.
There you go.
Hell yeah!
And that's supposed to be 2023, the Ahsoka series. That's something else we were going to weigh in on. I think this is going to be great to see it go down. There's already other shows that have literally talked about this over and over. Oh, no. So, that being said, let's get back to it. Heroes or villains. Yeah, you say Ahsoka. Yeah,
I don't know who a villain can be.
I mean, if you don't have to bring Jyn Erso. You could just have Krennic come in with Ahsoka.
Maybe they're going to put Darth Maul's brother.
I
don't think so.
Savage Opress. No. I don't. And now, when I was on with James, he said it would only be it would make sense to put in Jyn and Krennic, but he also brought Cassian. So that's a really good thing, too. Of course, I want Starkiller, a.k.a. Galen Merrick, and I want... You know who I want. Who do I want, Molly?
What?
Darth Revan.
Yeah, Darth Revan.
I want Revan. Give us Revan.
Brother.
Ben Walk, if you're listening to this podcast, oh yeah, give us Darth Revan. And if you did that, you would definitely be...
Bring the pain!
You get it. So yeah, so this, we're still playing everything right now. We're getting all of our weapons up. We're settling in. We're getting more points. We're getting BB-8, BB-9 more levels. spreading out, getting new guns now, and doing all these things. Kind of like finalizing a lot of the things we didn't do, because we do take times off. Like if we go into Diablo world, we'll play Diablo for a while, and then after that, we'll also go back into, like, she plays a lot of Fortnite, as mentioned. Sometimes we'll play some Gran Turismo. So we play so many different games. That's why I said, like, Battlefront 2 is the one game that we always play the most, because it's the one game that always stays up to date.
Hell yeah!
So let's move along to Clone Wars. So go back a few weeks here. We had the Rex and Echo series with the Bad Batch, and then Echo eventually leaving with the Bad Batch and leaving Rex, with Anakin at the same time. And you got to see a little bit, if you remember, when Anakin was going after that one leader on that one planet, that the leader said, that is not like your order. And pretty much, don't quote me word for word, but do you remember when Anakin says that I don't follow that? Or pretty much, like, it showed right there.
Is that when the leader took Anakin?
Yeah, and Anakin ended up killing him. Yeah.
No.
Well, Anakin killed him. He put a lightsaber through him. That guy.
Wait, is that when they were flying away?
No, that was when he was meeting with that boss, the big heavy thing that was like... Yeah. He ended up, when that right there, that tells you, again, with this series leading up to not Attack of the Clones, that's my bad, Revenge of the Sith, it's showing Anakin's making those moves towards doing that. This quote, now you don't remember this quote? When he cut off the guy's arm to give them the code to disarm the bomb so that they could get away. That. Now you do. See, you gotta wake up.
What?
Yeah, that quote. That right there showed it. And then, you had, of course, eventually the rescue of Echo, the Bad Batch going their separate ways. And, Rex and Echo pretty much understanding that both of them going on their separate paths. It's cool, and it's good, and it was nice to get that. Now let's move over to Ahsoka. Ahsoka and Trace. As we know, Ahsoka's speeder broke down. She ended up on Trace's, garage bay, and they got everything going. And Ahsoka's been doing really good holding her powers back. Of course, she did have to use her powers when that one robot went crazy that Rafa got for that one job, and then they had to go chasing it through the streets, and she used the Force to pull it up, but she did have it hooked up on that building, so she helped, right?
But she couldn't tell Trace, because Trace doesn't like Jedi.
Yeah, well, that's because they're down there, and they have different views of them, and Rafa, her sister Rafa, has been having a lot of problem with Ahsoka, so it leads to last night's episode, where, shit really hit the fan.
Hell yeah!
First of all, we ended it with them surrounded, and with negotiations gone bad.
And she and Trace spilled the spice.
All through. I mean, I thought she spilled that way too fast. I get why they're trying to do it, but I really... she should have kept that spice. When she spilled that spice, I was like, no! What did you think?
Same thing. Like, why'd you do that? Your sister's gonna be mad, and then, they're gonna have to end up giving credit or...
Exactly, like you were trying to protect your ship, but you just gave away the one thing that would have been able to allow you to keep your ship.
Hell yeah!
Bad thing, but I see why she did it. She didn't want anybody, she didn't want, Ahsoka and Raph fighting, so she kind of did it that way, and that's the way it is. So the Rice Syndicate, this is going to be crazy. I mean, this whole... I can't wait till Friday next week to see what happens, because I think the only way out of it is if Ahsoka somehow uses her Jedis, because since they're spice smugglers pretty much, if the Jedi knew about it, they would of course shut them down, and Ahsoka being part of the Jedi, she could probably play off to where they might let her go, but that's still going to come back and bite them. But I don't know. I think Ahsoka might have to don her lightsaber and save them.
Also, Trace is going to be like, like she's gonna be surprised that.
But it's gonna make sense to them why she knows so much about spaceships, like why they kept asking her about how she knew so much about so many different things. Like she displayed so many things with fixing the bike and
also, she almost got caught because she said Skywalker Academy.
Yeah, she left that out there too. Like you just can't say things like that. So that being said, the Pike Syndicate's got them right now surrounded. I think Ahsoka's gonna have to battle her ass out. But it was kind of cool seeing that little moment with her and Anakin when she passed by. I think the reason why Anakin let that ship pass by is because he knew Ahsoka was on that ship.
And he knew she wasn't going to come back.
Yeah. So he kind of gave her a good nod. So that was awesome. I mean, I love the direction it's going, and if this is where her series is going to go, that's going to be great. There's so many fans that are going to love the Ahsoka series coming out. And what's that?
We need to go back into season 6 to see why she left.
Well, we'll get to that. Also, we have to complete our Rebels, because we never really fully watched all of Rebels. So we got a lot to do with that. Well, that being said, we've talked about Clone Wars. We've talked about the YouTube channels, letting people know where we find us at, and Battlefront 2. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about Final Fantasy VII's demo. You got to witness Final Fantasy VII, which some people actually think is one of the greatest RPGs in the world. How did you like watching the cinematic display that the new remake to Final Fantasy VII did?
I thought it was funny. They did a good job.
Yeah, was that boss fight really amazing? How it kept jumping on the...
And it seems like a story mode.
Yeah, like you watch it. And that's what Final Fantasy is. It's a book. And this is a good book. This is a very sad book, too. Aerith dies really, really early in the game. And it's a heartbreaking, heart-shattering moment when it happens. And I want to see what they do, because they're going to add some characters. Like, there's this whole little thing. A lot of people are liking it, disliking it, but I think this game is going to be amazing. It's going to be the same story that everybody fell in love with for Part 7. So if you haven't checked out the Final Fantasy VII demo, go check it out. It's more third person now. You run around, you do attacks, blocks. So it brings more of the battle to you, more intense, more close up, but it still retains that active battle system that they had from back then, to where you kind of have to also make sure that your other people are doing their jobs too.
Oh, yeah!
So let's move over to the next demo. They released Trials of Mana. This does not surprise me after they released and remade Secret of Mana, which we beat. The Trials of Mana looks like it's a follow-up, of course, to Mana, maybe even Sekinditsu 3, because technically, from what I understand, I think Secret of Mana was Part 2. I can't be positive, because you gotta remember, in 1993, the internet wasn't really around, so a lot of information you only could really read through, like, Electronic Gaming Monthly or Nintendo Power, which didn't really, talk about the Final Fantasies after they lost that series to the PlayStation. So, when you had you had Secret of Mana, Trials of Mana, this game actually allows you to play level 8, whereas, like, the demo for Final Fantasy VII allows you to just play that first big fight and saying, this game actually just lets you run around, and it controls exactly like Mana. I like that you could select 3 different people. Did you like that? How you could select 3 different people in Mana?
Yeah.
So you can put people into your party that you want, and that's probably going to change the story, because everybody's story is different. So you're going to have 6 unique different stories that you could kind of play with. And when intertwined differently, each one of those stories is going to make a different game. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Also, if you want to see us beat Secret of Mana, we did that live on YouTube.
Yes, we did. We did that on my channel at YouTube. Go watch it. Ooh, yeah. I think there's a little pause during that one, though. So you might have to fast forward that. But yes, check out that Final Fantasy VII. And I will tell you, that Trials of Mana, the music sounds exactly like it would have been an update to a game made 2 years ago. Maintaining the music sounds like Secret of Mana, but new. You people have no idea of how amazing this is to me, because they're keeping the old system. They're They have a story. They have fun little inner bits. And everything that they did in Secret of Mana is probably going to be done past this in this game. How's that make you feel?
Good.
Yeah?
It seems like it's going to be a fun game.
Yeah, it does. It does. And again, going back to the fantasy music aspect of it, it's going to make it feel like Secret of Mana. Hearing that music made me feel like this game should have been made and released in 1994 and 1995 but the Super Nintendo was, phasing out, but this could have been a PlayStation demo. I mean, we were playing Suikoden then. We could have been playing this then.
Hell yeah!
So that's it. I mean, we got WrestleMania next week, starting this Saturday.
It's going to be
2 days.
very boring.
It will be crazy with no crowd. I mean, me and Ma are going to talk about that later. But how do you feel about WrestleMania 36 in front of no crowd?
I have a feeling it's going to be boring. But, even though you always watch the wrestlers, it's always funny to see the people in the background.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just it's like...
That's part of wrestling. I miss staring at some weirdo in the background with some stupid shirt on, or somebody that maybe made a statement or didn't make a statement, or just did something stupid, spilled a popcorn. Who knows?
Oh
It
yeah!
just seems like a crowd just makes it more...
It's part of it because the wrestlers feed off the crowd. So when they go to the crowd, when we were watching, Raw this past week, and the one we were watching the tag match, and the one guy actually went to the crowd to put his ear up to the crowd, and I swear you could hear the other wrestlers say, "There's no crowd."
Yeah, so they're going to be used to the crowd, and we're like, oh wait, there's no crowd. I feel stupid.
I like that the vignettes and the interviews are being done more towards the camera now, which is nice, which is what they had to do. But at the same time, I think what they could... I mean, I went back, this is WrestleMania, they could have put some teddy bears in the seats with video cameras in them. They could have did something just to fill those seats. I can't wait to see what they did because honestly, it's going to be amazing no matter what, but it won't be visually amazing. It won't feel like it's amazing. But if the wrestlers put on a great story in the ring and actually wrestle, that's what we want anyway, isn't it? Yes, we want good storytelling, right? Tell us. You like watching the match, right? You just brought it up. So let's focus on the wrestling. Let's focus on the match. Does that make their job even harder now? Because if they slip up, everybody's going to see it because our eyes aren't wandering in the back of the crowd.
Well, it's going to be funny because you'll be like, oh wait, there's no crowd.
So later on, when we do that podcast, we're going to give out our picks for some of the matches, if there's any of the matches left, and even if WrestleMania goes on. So we'll do that tonight. I'll do that tonight with Chrissy Ray. But yeah, you got Roman Reigns out now. He's not fighting Goldberg. Now Goldberg has to fight Braun Strowman. This just means Goldberg's probably going to win the title, or not win the title. He already has the title. He's going to retain, and they're going to keep Goldberg around until SummerSlam. I don't know. It's almost like the WrestleMania this year will be SummerSlam.
Hell yeah!
I mean, that's the next big one anyway.
Brother!
What do you think?
I mean, if there's no SummerSlam and the coronavirus goes away, it's just going to be like...
Oh, there'll be SummerSlam with no coronavirus.
Yeah.
So that being said, we've talked about everything we needed to talk about. We're caught up. We talked about Ahsoka. We talked about the series. We talked about these crazy little things going on. And I got a special announcement later for all you people. I got a little game or something that's going to come out. Not a game to play with, to bring the pain people, but you'll see. It's a little thing, and it'll make this week seem so special. So with that being said, give me a goodbye, Molly.
Goodbye.
Mini override. Ow! And like I always say, everybody, until later, you should always bring the pain!